All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome back to another session of our CEJA reporting system office hours. I see a question in the chat, which is actually what we're going to be covering today on how to enter employers. We'll be going over the outreach and partners section in the reporting system. There are a few updates I wanted to note that we're working on that'll be available within the next week. Oh, Diane, I see you got your hand raised there.
Yeah, morning, David. Thanks everybody for joining. I saw the question in the chat too, and I just wanted to see if we could clarify that a little bit more because we do have the process you're about to go over, outreach and partners, but then there's also adding employers as a transition outcome. So I don't know, Ruby, if you could clarify. Perhaps maybe it's both, but if you could clarify if it's one or the other, then that might make a difference on what
Well, at this
on your
point, it's
question.
both. Thanks. It's both.
It's both. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was trying to enter and I was trying to do something else. So if you're going to go over it, I can actually see it physically. That would help. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. We will go over both.
Thanks, David.
Yeah. See, I'm looking at our list of updates here just to see if there's anything kind of worth noting that we're going to have. Let's see. I believe next Thursday. Some data fixes. Oops, looking at the wrong set of updates here. That's what we're working on now. Just some kind of bug fixes and kind of general enhancements. I don't think there's really anything worth sharing on this call this morning, but I think next week we'll have some updates to go over. But one of the things I am excited about is in the cases where we have duplicates or conflicting accounts, one of our programmers is working on a feature where I would be able to remove them. That way, we don't have open tickets that are kind of lingering and out there. But we'll have more on that once we get that update out. But we'll go ahead and go over our outreach and partners, how to add those in the system. And so let's see, I'm logged in as a ClimateWorks grantee. And if we go to Outreach and Partners, tab over here. This is where we'll be able to record for our outreach efforts and organizations we've partnered with here. He's moving pretty slowly. Let me check here. Make sure I'm still logged in. Okay, so when we click the Outreach and Partners tab, it'll take us to our Partners tab here, and we can see all of the partners that have been added into the system through in CEJA. And we have various filters. We can search by the name of the partner. We can filter by program. We can also filter by type. We have our list of options here. We can also filter by navigator, grantee, and MOU status if applicable there. And we can also run a export of the partners that have been entered on this tab. And if we click partner name, then we can view their information and any notes that have been added as well. But to add a partner, we will once this closes, we'll click the Add Partner button here. And this is where we could enter our information. So we'll say, let's see, organization. 13, so we'll give it a name. We'll select the type. We can select multi-select here for type. If we click this box here, that will put all the available options in there, and we can remove whichever ones we need to. And let's see, and then we have some optional fields here, but we have phone number, email address, industry. We have our NAICS code lookup. We can select this text here. And this will pull up a window where we can search by keyword, or if we click this search button, it will pull back all available codes, and it'll add another search bar here, which we can then enter text in to refine the results here. So we'll find our one, click select, and that will populate in there. And then partner current interest, this operates, is another multi-select, operates like the field above. We can click that box there, and it'll pull back all available options. Keep this in the X here. Okay. So then we'll make our partner current interest selections, and then we have a text box here for other interests. Let's go here. And then we have number of employees. And then we have clean energy industry. We can select all that apply in these checkboxes here. And then we have a question, are you an equitable eligible contractor? Yes or no? And then for apprenticeship sponsor, if we select yes, then we have a few fields populate here. Number of apprenticeship openings per year, the date that the applications are due by, and the date the applications are reviewed by, and then a link to the website or application here. And then we have our address information we can enter in. And then we'll select our organization for grantee. And for MOU status, if we say we have in process, not applicable, but then if we say complete, then we can add a description here and upload a file of that. And then once we have all this information entered, we'll click add partner information. System will say that it saved successfully. And then we can add a partner note here. So we'll say added David 1326. Subject, enter comment, click save. You can see that our note has been added in here. And then when we close out of this, we'll then see in our table here, the search for it. Here we go, partner organization. We can see that this has been added here. And if we click it, we'll see all our information here. If we need to update it, we can do so. And if we needed to add, we wanted to keep adding notes to this, we can select add partner note. Test number 2. So give it a subject and a comment here. And we'll click add contact note and click close. So we can continue to add notes to that on the partner tab. And when we add notes to partners, if we go to this contact notes page, those additional notes are going to show up here. So you can see that the note we added when we added the partner organization has been included in here in today's date. And so that's where, with this contact notes tab, the notes that are added on the partner entries will appear here. So we can view all those there. And then for the outreach tab, if we go over there, this is where we can record our events. For outreach, we can filter by, well, if you have, sub-grantees or sub-navigators, you can, filter to other options. Otherwise, it'll just default to yours here. And we can see the ones that have been, entered in the past. And to add one, we'll click Add Outreach Event. And we'll select the grantee here. Second here. All right, so we'll select the grantee here and we'll give it an outreach name. Event 5/13/26. And then we'll select audience type, either business engagement or individual engagement. And then for outreach type, we have the options for canvassing, community partnership event / meeting, in-house event, and regional or state workforce board events. We'll enter a date for the event and the number of attendees. And we'll click Save here. And then we should see at the bottom of our table here, the event that we've added here. If we needed to go back and make any changes, we can click See Notes and make the appropriate changes. If we wanted to add notes about the event, we can do that as well by selecting the case note type, the contact date, and then the subject here. And then enter a comment here. And click Save to add the note here, which we can also view if we click that view button there. So we'll click Save and we should see, yep, this updated to 135 attendees. And here as well, we can also run an export of the list of outreach events. Just see if there's anything else to go over in this section. I don't believe so. I know we were going to also cover the adding employment to customers, customer records, but are there any questions about this section here? I do see a hand raised. Hi, Ria. If you're talking, you're still on mute.
Sorry about that. I had to figure out where the mic button was. Is there a way to delete a duplication of partners? That way our lists match what's in workNet.
Yeah. Let me just open this up in another tab and see if I can possibly do this as a super admin. I don't believe so. Yeah, looks like yeah, not currently, not unless we have a programmer remove it. But if there are, if there is a duplicate, you can send a help request and we can have our programmers remove.
Okay, yeah, there was somewhere I saw that we had duplications. I ran an audit on the previous year, and there are a few of those. And then, like, if we do an address and then we find out it's incorrect later and we put the wrong information in, how do we go correct that information since we can't delete it and just re-enter it?
Yeah, so we should be able to, let's look at this first one here. If we click here and then we should just be able to update the address here. And if we click update partner information, change address, and we should see the change here. Yep. So yeah, we just have to click the partner name, update the fields here, and update the partner information.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course. Any other questions about outreach and partners? All right, so we'll go now back to our customer list, and let's find a customer where we can add our employment as a transition outcome. So let me filter here, check our transition outcome column to find a fresh customer here. So up a little bit more. Okay, how about this one here? So we'll look at this customer here. I know they have a status of exited, but we'll pretend that they don't have that. So we'll click their name, and then on the program completion follow-up tab, she is really slow today. All right. Okay, so when we add employment, so we're on the program completion follow-up tab as a transition outcome. This is where we would add our employment record here. So we'll click add transition outcomes. And then in our drop down here, we can select job placement. And then we'll just fill in the questions here. We have a few yes, nos. Is this job in clean energy or construction building trades? Is this job a temporary or transition job? Do they receive fringe benefits? Yes or no? And we also have info bubbles here, kind of better defining. I clicked that in the wrong spot here. Here's how we define clean energy jobs, temporary job, and then what fringe benefits include here. And then we'll just enter the employment information. So we'll enter the employer name. And their address. And then we will enter the hourly wage paid, overtime pay rate, if applicable, the number of hours per week, the start date, say first of the month, and then end date, if applicable. You can come back in here and enter this or update it as needed. And then we can also enter the SOC code for the occupation of the program. And like our other code lookups kind of spread out throughout the system, we can click this button here. Now pull up our SOC code window, which we can search by keyword, or click search to bring them all back, and then make our selection here. And we'll just have to click save. We'll see the system say the outcome's been added, and then we'll just leave a case note here. So, oops, employment update. As employment with ABC Solar. And we'll save the case note. This page will refresh here, and we'll see, yep, job placement right here. And if we click the actual title of the transition outcome, that will pull up the window. Oops, too many clicks. That'll pull up the window, and then if we needed to take a closer look or make any changes, we can do that there. In the event if maybe this employment was not actually for Sid, but it was for someone else, we can click the red X to remove that there. But then once we have that added if we go back to our customer list, we can see in this column that it was NA for transition outcome. But if we refresh the search here, we'll see once it loads, job placement for the transition outcome here. All right, so that's how we can add employment as a transition outcome in CEJA. Are there any questions about that?
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, awesome. Quick question. How would I go back to edit the job placement information? Like, say I put it in and I did not put the soft code, but I want to go back and put it. How would I do that?
Yeah. So we would just come back to our customer here, open this tab, and if we click job placement, then we can just come back here and click the code lookup for the SOC here, and then we'll click select, and then we'll just click save, and I think this will, leave a case note here. So let's say added SOC code. You should see this code update once it refreshes here. Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right. Any other questions about adding employment? Or are there any other questions in general about CEJA or anything you'd like for us to go over on the call today?
Me again.
Ted,
Oh. You can go ahead.
oh, this is Ruby. David,
Yeah.
this part I know, but where do you go? And I see where the groups where you actually add the names of employers that you've been working with. Is there a tab for that? Because I thought it was at the, okay, I'll give you, I'm working with a construction company.
Mhm.
And I need to put that in there that I'm working in there. So how would I add that construction company's name inside of the database?
So are we wanting to, is this like with a specific, I guess, between, adding as a transition outcome or
No,
on
just
the
actually,
outreach tabs?
no, I just actually want to put the names of every employer that I'm working with inside of the database.
I guess I'm
Name.
not, I guess I'm not understanding. So like what, or I guess so if you're adding them into the database, like where?
Well, that's why I'm asking. Is there a place to do that? I'm working with, let me just pick a construction company, Passion Company, FS Passion.
Okay.
And I got their address, the person that I'm talking to and everything. Is there a tab to put all of that information in, stating that I'm actually talking to that particular company?
Yeah, that would be in this outreach and partners tab. You can add
Use
them.
the same one?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
okay.
add. Yeah, I think we have. Yeah, we could add because I think one of the types here. Yeah,
Okay.
employer.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
So
All right. Then you cleared up everything for me. I'm sorry.
good.
Hey, David.
Hey.
So the issue I'm having is on the CEJA reporting page under the dashboard.
Mhm.
It's showing that we have a lot of follow-ups that are past due. However, these people that they're showing that are past due, they're either dropped or withdrawn or decided this wasn't for them. How do I
Mhm.
get it to, even after being exited, it's still showing that we need a follow-up? How do I get that off?
Yeah, because we're talking about kind of this section right here, right?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, we might have to, because yeah, for those cases where, we're just not really going to follow up with them. I don't know if we
Right.
have, yeah, logic built into it to kind of filter out some statuses here. Um, yeah, withdrawn, withdrawn. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna have to do an update to filter this out. And I want to take a look here. Okay, we have our different intervals.
Yeah, and that part there, I
Yeah,
think my colleague had emailed you about yesterday. That's also throwing our numbers off as well. It's showing they're not done, and they actually are. So I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin to fix something like that.
yeah, I think I'll have to take a look at this and testing. So I did see that email or ticket. It looked
So
like it might have been left, even though, the case note was added, even though we still have, the red X there. Yeah, I think we'll want to, oh, oops. All right. That was what, 9 months?
And my question was actually kind of similar. I put it in the chat. Like, if there's a red flag for something, maybe not being complete within a certain amount of days, so like the intake or an application, if the
Yeah.
student never enrolled in the program, I'm not really sure how to clear that. Like, there's not a space for me to say, oh, they never enrolled, so we didn't complete the application. They didn't want to complete the application. So how would we clear that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a similar thing where we're going to need to add some logic in to filter out some of these, records here, because I kind of suspect, now that you mentioned that even if we were to say, maybe we just have the inquiry record, but we say, we update their status to, do not contact here. There we go. Okay, I was waiting for that. That if they're still going to show up here, 48.
So David, this is Nate.
Yeah.
I think for the grantees though, right? Like they would check that box you just showed, or isn't there the box on the actual progress page for the individual? Isn't there another box there that says they no longer interested, blah blah blah? And so like I think the direction to them would be to check one of those boxes, right? But then on the back end, you will work with programmers to figure out how to like clear those candidates from the dashboard list, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, and it looks like, at least in this case, that we did that. If they were inquiry, pre-screening not completed, I checked that box and they went down here, and we can take a look to see, where that is on the intake. What you would do if the application wasn't completed, we could open up the record here and go to intake. Oops. Let me try another one here. Okay. Yeah, so then oh, it should be here.
Yeah, I couldn't find a box that says like not interested, did not complete, because I was kind of looking for a way to just notify the system that throughout the process, at some point, we did not move forward because of, whatever reason. The couldn't get a hold of the customer, they changed their mind, but it didn't really look like there was a way for us to flag that.
Yeah, and I think we need to do an update here, or maybe there was a bug. But yeah, even if they were, so it looks like it's showing up once the application is completed, but I think we're going to want it, before. Um, so we'll have to get a fix in for this, but this is the box that we would check here, customer declined to participate. Which, yeah, we should be seeing the pre-screening status as well.
I'm wondering also, David, if that will satisfy, like if there's like a list of the service needs that we couldn't address because the person did not decide to continue on for whatever reason, or just didn't show up or anything, to make those all go away instead of individually closing each one. That would be great.
Yeah, we'll have to. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through each section here, each row, not on this call, but I'll walk through and just kind of see how we can kind of tighten this up, so that when we do see those yellow and red flags, rows, that we can, really focus in on, the customers who need that updated, so you don't have to, kind of filter through an already filtered list of what actions need to be taken. But yeah, I think yeah, if we add some logic here for the rows to only pull in certain statuses, and to fix this issue over here for pre-screening, then we can yeah, tighten that up. That way, we can, the dashboard a little more clearer, and who needs to be updated.
And I have one more question that's, I believe, adjacent to this.
Yeah.
So we will have customers where we mark them as complete because they finished the training program, and then either exited or not exited, depending on the situation. But they're still not showing up in the bucket for completing the program in the aggregate. So what exactly triggers a customer showing up as completed the program in the aggregate numbers?
It should just be, let me take a look here.
Like, for example, I was thinking if maybe a service is still marked as needing attention, that, like, would that have to be resolved before it moves into that aggregate bucket? Because we have many students where I can see they're marked as complete. They have their credentials. They've been both not exited or exited the program, and they're still not showing in the aggregate.
And we're talking about this row here in the dashboard? Or is it in a different report?
In the planned versus actual.
Plan versus actual. Okay, yeah, let me pull that up.
When I had that issue, what I had to do, which I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it worked. I had to go into our bridge training, put their credentials under the earned credentials, and then I had to go into their job specific training and put the same credentials in the earned credentials section on that part too. So it was like double working, but it was the only thing that worked for me.
And so is that just for Hub, or is that also ClimateWorks?
I'm Hub. I don't know about the ClimateWorks.
Yeah, ClimateWorks, yeah, would be a little different. I think that would be wanting to look at the what's the name of that service that we have populating by default? Is it the pre-apprenticeship? Yeah, pre-apprenticeship training. Let's see, let's take a look here. So we got Works completers, 15, but then if I go to a regular list here, to complete. So this is complete. So this is from the plan versus actual. We're pulling in those who have completed or exited. And then this is our 10 who've completed. We got 6 here. Huh, looks like we're off by 1. Yeah, I believe this is just looking at. Okay, so we got completers. Those who completed the pre-apprenticeship training program by completing all modules. 50% attendance, 70% on higher test scores on all modules and met requirements associated with required credentials and certifications. But yeah, if they're not showing up here, if you could send me a list of who you would expect to see, populate in this row. I think I'll have to take a closer look just to see what might be going on, if there's another thing that needs to be added to the customer's record, or if there's an issue with the system. And I want to see if I think we have some instructions here. I just want to see if we have that kind of defined, and if we have more information in this instructional document here, where we kind of define each row and what the criteria is. Completers. Okay, so number of participants who have or have had a status of complete or exited, with the status date set with the filter start and end dates. Okay, so yeah, that's about what I thought. But yeah, if there's people who aren't showing up in that row that you expect to see, if you could send me a list of them, some examples, I can take a closer look to see if there's an issue going on there. Are there any other questions or things you'd like for us to walk through? Nate or Diane, is there anything you'd like to add or share with the group?
Just a reminder about the RFI feedback, if you haven't done that. And then there's a couple other surveys with the IPA disparity study out, and another survey for Climate Jobs Institute out on jobs as well.
So,
And nothing else from me. This is Nate. Thanks, David.
yeah, no problem.
Thank
And
you.
I do see a quick, just one thing here. Can we assign cohorts in Illinois? WorkNet last week, he said hold off because of updates. Yeah, I would say to continue holding off. There are some, I think, updates we need to discuss and or implement. But yeah, continue to hold off, please, just for the time being. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I will get the recording posted to our partner guide page. And if anything comes up, please reach out via email or help requests. And with that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thanks all.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks, y'all. See ya.